I think most of our discussion is probably going to focus on your Greek knowledge and some of your Greek books. So, writing a introductory textbook, what is that process like? Especially writing with multiple authors. But if you think of your kind of contribution, how do you go about even getting started to writing a Greek textbook?
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, Brian, a lot of the stuff I've done in life is a result of other people paving the way for me and other people like inviting me into it. So I became good friends with Ben Merkel when we were both PhD students together at Southern Seminary, which is one reason to go to seminary is to learn and increase your skills, but also the friends, the comrades you have in ministry is something that will stay with you for the rest of your life. And so Ben and I became friends, and then um, he was a missionary in East Asia for a while, and then he started this series. He wanted to start a series on 40 questions. So he's like, "Hey, you want to co-author this book on hermeneutics with me?" And then he got busy. He's like, "You want to just write it?" So that was how that came. And then the other books, really, all the Greek books, ultimately were birthed out of Ben's initiative. Ben's like, "Hey, how about we do this intermediate Greek textbook together?" And so we brainstorm ideas, and Andreas actually Kostenberger, he worked at B&H at the time, and he was the academic gatekeeper, and he's like, "I'd like to be involved in that." So he's I mean, he's well known. It'd be kind of silly for us not to say, "Come in, welcome." So then there were 3 authors. And so we honestly just brainstormed what we wanted and divided the book up into 5 different chapters. And in the introduction, it tells you who wrote which chapter. But then, we edited each other's materials and made changes and all that. But ultimately it was, well, I'll do these 5 chapters. Greek for Life, Ben's idea. We brainstormed it. We divided up. I wrote half the chapters. He wrote half the chapters. I also collected a lot of the testimonies and like inspirational stuff. That's something that I like, have a huge file. So I peppered all that throughout. Then Ben's like, "Let's do beginning Greek." So that's him too. And that one we did a little differently. He sort of did the structure of it, and then he would send me, and then I would fill in and edit and change things. And then I did a lot of the supplementary materials, videos and other things that go with it. But so I mean, you can see, I mean, Ben, I mean, would I have written anything if it were not for Ben? I don't know. Probably, maybe, but probably not as good. I'm grateful for that. We sharpen each other, push each other, help each other do better work. Yeah. And we've been through a lot together. When he was in Malaysia, our family went and stayed with him for a month. His son, he's been very open. His son committed suicide a few years ago. And so he's been through a lot of suffering, and, your friendship grows through that, and you see God's grace coming out in someone who's gone through a great deal of suffering.
Yep, for sure. So, as students here, there's people from the online community, also Daily Dose, but like if students were going to kind of get started in Greek, what are some practical kind of first steps that you would suggest? I mean, you have your Daily Dose, you have your books, but if somebody's just actually going to get started in that, whether it's coming to seminary and kind of getting started, or, maybe it's just kind of getting started on their own, how would you ask someone or tell someone to prepare how to start doing that?
Well, it's never been easier. And I know there are a lot of different options out there. So I'm one tour guide that's going to offer to take you to that destination. There are other people that are out there offering to take you there too. But I mean, I think the key as you begin is to know how to learn and to really be committed, because it's really rarely is it intellectual ability that prevents someone from learning Greek. It's a matter of discipline and perhaps not knowing how to memorize and learn. And so that's why that book that Ben and I did together, Greek for Life, I do think is an important book because it inspires people by putting before them, not that we're inspirational, but puts before them, the testimony of so many people. You can do this. This is how you can do it. It's also very practical about habits and about mnemonic methods that I'm always I'm reminded many times that students do not know how to memorize. They have not learned in the educational system that they grew up in how to memorize effectively or quickly. There, so some people are attracted or have the opportunity to do some communicative language. That's great. If that works for them, they have a community works. Other people, a more traditional academic environment. I think those can cross fertilize each other. We can learn from the strengths and weaknesses of those different approaches. And I'm constantly trying to learn new things and incorporate those things into what I do.
Yes.
So
You're one of the masters at incorporating songs and mnemonic devices and everything else into helping with memorization. So
I try. Yeah. I try to make it as painless as possible.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
and I mean, I think there's a lot of joy in Greek. It'd be strange if I gave so much of my life to this and I didn't enjoy it. I do really enjoy it.